What's going on, everybody? It's week 7 of the college football season. And even though Texas is on a bye week this week, unfortunately for us as fans, probably really fortunately for them as players, gives them a week to recover from injuries, yada yada, etc., before they go and get their next game in next week. But that means that for the first time this season, we as Texas fans get to sit back and just relax and watch some good college football being played all Saturday long. Because even though Texans are playing, that doesn't mean that college football has not gifted us with an incredible Saturday to watch all day long. They've already gifted us with an incredible game that happened last night between Colorado and Stanford. If you haven't seen that game, I highly suggest you go check out some of the highlights. Man, crazy game. I think Coach Prime acknowledged that he's got a real problem on his hands about whether his team actually loves to play football or just likes it a lot. But that's neither here nor there. The game that I am going to be watching along with much of the rest of the country. Top 10 matchup, game of the week, potentially already game of the season. Number 8, Oregon. Number 7, Washington. Oregon travels to Washington. So definitely y'all want to go and check that out. It is going to be a crazy game. We got Oregon coming in, one of the most efficient offenses in all of college football. Bo Nix, obviously a Heisman a Heisman contender. He's having an incredible season. Very efficient football player. Very efficient with the football in his hands. He's a great signal caller, and he always gets Oregon in positions to be successful. He's very good about not turning the ball over, putting the ball in the right player's hands, etc. Then they got the three-headed monster at running back between Bucky Irving, Jordan James, and Noah Whittington. All three of those running backs are averaging over 7 yards a carry right now. That is in 3 running backs, and they each have over 20 carries on the season. 3 running backs with a minimum of 20 carries, averaging over 7 yards a carry on the ground. That is insane. And then, of course, their big play, NFL prospect, wide receiver threat, Troy Franklin, coming into the game as their leading receiver with 535 yards receiving, averaging about 16.7 yards per game or per catch. That's going to be a very interesting matchup to see that high-octane and very efficient play style of Oregon. And they're very big, too. That's what I love about Oregon's O-line. Oregon's O-line is huge, and those guys can play. It is going to be a massive battle in the trenches. We're going to need to see, I'm going to butcher this, but Alfonso Tuputala.
Today, Junior?
Edifon Ulufacio. Goodness gracious. Carson Bruner. Dominique Hampton. Those guys, they're going to need to come and step up big for a Washington defense that is very middle of the road. In my opinion, I think that they play pretty sound football for the most part, but we've seen in the last couple weeks against Arizona, I can't remember the other team that they played, that it was a very close game, but it shouldn't have been close. But I know for sure last week Arizona kept it pretty close. We know that Washington can score the football. Can their defense match their offense? The thing about Washington's offense is they can definitely bail their defense out. The defense is just going to need to get a few stops against that high-octane Oregon offense. They have themselves a Heisman contender in Michael Penix Jr., freaking insanely good left-handed quarterback, which we're not used to, or we're not accustomed to seeing in college football. The precision that he throws the football with is insane. He never misses. He's never off target, and he even leads. One thing about Michael Penix that is really overlooked, he leads his receivers into correct zones no matter where he's throwing. Whether the ball needs to be placed inside or outside, over the outside shoulder, whether it's on a fade route, backside shoulder, doesn't matter. Michael Penix knows where to put the ball at all times, which is why Washington comes in with the number 1 ranked scoring offense in all of college football. Or not scoring offense, the number 1 ranked passing offense in all of college football. They're averaging 46 points a game, 569 yards total yards per game. That is also first in FBS. Averaging 446.4 pass yards per game. That is crazy. And mind you, these stats are with Michael Penix only playing 3 quarters, I think, in every single game, minus maybe Arizona. He's only played 3 quarters in a majority of his games, and he's averaging over 400 yards passing. What? So needless to say, the Oregon defense is going to have their hands full. Luckily for them, their defense is definitely better than Washington's at this point in the season. Very aggressive, I felt like. What I've seen from Oregon's defense, they're very aggressive. They play pretty sound football. They got big guys in the front 7, which I think at this day and age in football is imperative. Oregon's main objective in this game is going to be force Washington, who's not a great rushing team. They're a middle-of-the-road rushing team. You want to try and force them to put the ball on the ground, right? Either that or take the run game away completely and try to force Michael Penix to beat you through the air. That's scary because I have a lot of faith in Kellen DeBoer and that offense, or one of the best coaches in the FBS, period. What he's doing with that Washington offense is incredible. I think if you give Michael Penix too much time back in the pocket, he's just going to be able to pick your defense apart no matter how good you are. So the focus is going to be making them one-dimensional and then getting pressure on Michael Penix Jr., making him uncomfortable in the pocket, making him have to get outside of the pocket and make plays with his feet. While he's a mobile quarterback, he's not really known for his scramble ability per se. I think the opposite is true with Bo Nix and the Oregon offense. They obviously are going to have very explosive offense. They have an incredible ground game, and Bo Nix is a vital part to that ground game as well. I think the 3 running backs don't have the season that they're having right now if Bo Nix is not having the season that he is having, because not only is he one of the most efficient and electric players throwing the football, he is great on the ground and he can always make plays with his feet. And time again throughout Bo Nix's career, we have seen him make vital and crucial plays in games with his legs. This one is going to be a crazy good game. They are very evenly matched in a lot of ways. I think it's going to be highly explosive, a high scoring game, a much higher scoring game than maybe people anticipate. But at the end of the day, gosh, I just really like what I'm seeing with Oregon. And I think Washington is very good. I think they're a great offensive team. I think their defense still has a lot of work to do. And at the end of the day, I just think Oregon is so multiple and they're so stout, so physical and just big. I think they're going to be able to really start to lean on and wear Washington down, especially with that run game. If you can run the ball 25, 30, 35 times against Washington and really wear them down and force the offense into mistakes, I think that's going to be the key for Oregon to win. I'm not going to lie. I'm going to go Oregon in this game. I think that right now they're just playing great complementary football. They're a complete team, as complete a team as I've seen outside of probably Michigan. I really think this is going to be a pretty high scoring affair. I'll say I think Oregon squeaks this game out. I think they squeak it out. I'm going to call a 38-35 game. 38-35 game, and I think maybe Oregon wins it in the final minutes of the game, maybe closes it out late. We'll see. All I know is that it's going to be extremely exciting. This is why we love college football, because even when your favorite team is not playing, doesn't matter. There are great teams playing all around the country, and there's great football being played all day long. I cannot wait. This is where games start getting really fun. These next 6 weeks, we're coming out of bye weeks. We're getting through the fluff part of most teams' schedules, and now we're getting into conference play, and this is where everything gets really fun, because every week the games are toss-ups, honestly, at the end of the day. Rivalry games, conference games, you can never anticipate what's to come. So we're going to start to see a lot of zeros falling, a lot of shifts in the top 15, top 25s. But yeah, that's all I got for y'all today. Number 8, Oregon. Number 7, Washington. Again, I'm taking Oregon to win this game 38-35 in a tight game. I hope y'all have a wonderful Saturday. Enjoy all the college football that we have. And next week, Texas gets back to it. Can't wait. If you haven't already, if you made it to this point in the video, please do me a favor. Hit that subscribe button. Hit the thumbs up. Turn on those notification bells so you never miss anything that we have coming out for you guys. Because remember, no matter where you look, there's no better place than MoBettaSports for your latest football takes. I am Antonio, aka Mr. MoBetta, and I am out. Peace.